Hello, everyone. Happy Friday, and welcome to another edition of A Successful Transition from Monogamy to Open. Like I said before, Fridays are going to be question day, answering questions. So again, if you have questions you'd like to have answered, feel free to private message me, and I will do my best to get them answered on Fridays going forward. As I was preparing for today, I was thinking about what is one of the most common questions I get when people ask about open relationships. And often people will come up to me and they'll say, well, how do open relationships work? And depending on whether or not I think this is someone who has a genuine interest or is just being some type of, open relationship voyeur, will depend on whether I answer them honestly or give them some sort of smart-ass answer. But most of the time, people are genuinely interested in knowing how these things work. Because let's face it, as our society, even people that you know who are in open relationships don't always talk about the details of how things work, how well things work. So the general public are left kind of in the dark. And they hear a lot of the stories of the ones that don't work, of the ones that fall apart and are a huge train wreck. That they hear about. They don't hear about the ones that work and work well. So it is very confusing about, can this even work? How well can this work? And the question of how do open relationships work is clearly a very broad question. It's not something you could just answer in a few sentences or even in a couple of minutes. And as you'll learn over the next few weeks, we're going to talk a lot about all the details of how open relationships work. But when I think about answering this question to someone, I often go from the standpoint of people are concerned about, how well do they work, can they work, and what is the things that will make the difference between one working successfully and one not working successfully. And what I tell people is that you have to look at it from the same aspect of whether a relationship is monogamous or open as to the people involved in that relationship. And what does the foundation of that relationship look like? How solid is it? How strong is it? And how healthy is it? Because in any type of relationship, if you have people who are insecure, overly jealous, controlling, manipulative, mentally unhealthy, that's not going to be a relationship, whether it's monogamous or open, that's going to work well. In couples counseling, one of the things we often look at is how do people deal with conflict? And there's three different main ways that you see people in relationships dealing with conflict. The first is, do they turn towards each other and act as a team of how are we going to deal with this problem that we have? The second way is turning against each other, where now they're blaming the other one and not taking any responsibility for their portion of what the problem is all the other person's fault. And the third is turning away from each other, where now they stop talking, they put up walls, and they may not talk for hours, days, or sometimes even weeks. And then when they do start talking again, they avoid that issue and sweep it under the rug. Now, as you can imagine, the first scenario is the healthiest that people want to aim for. You want to turn towards each other and work as a team. Because whatever the problem is, even if it's, let's say it's one partner has a high sex drive and the other has a low sex drive, often when people turn against each other, the one with the high sex drive turns to the other one and says, I'm fine, you have the problem, you need to go get fixed. No, if you have a disparity in sex drives, you have a problem together in your relationship that both of you need to turn together and figure out how to solve. So that can make a big difference on how well any relationship works, whether it's open or monogamous. The other very important aspect is whether or not there's any abuse in the relationship. If you're dealing with issues of physical, emotional, verbal, or sexual abuse, I don't care what kind of relationship you're in. or you're in, it is not going to be healthy. It is not going to be successful. It may drag on for a long time, but it's not going to be healthy and successful. And if you have abuse in your monogamous relationship and now you're trying to open it up to an open relationship, that's just going to shine a huge light on those cracks in your foundation. And those are often the people who go down in flames. So hopefully that gives you a little idea of where you need to start when you're thinking about opening a relationship, is looking at the people involved in that relationship, or the people you want to be involved if you're opening up your relationship and you're looking at maybe a polyamorous triad or a quad. How healthy are all the people involved? How confident are they? How strong are they as individuals? Because that will make a big difference in how strong the relationship is and how good they function within that relationship. And if there's some things that need to be improved upon, then that may be a good time while you're in those initial stages of trying to open a relationship, of making sure you're getting some help. Whether that's a good individual therapist, a good couples therapist, maybe some anger management classes, something to work on that foundation to make sure it's strong. Because the stronger your foundation in monogamy, the stronger your foundation is going to be in open. If you haven't already joined the private Facebook group, A Successful Transition from Monogamy to Open, it has grown tremendously this week. We've gone from 3 members to 180 the last time I checked. And even if you just are not sure you want to engage in the discussions, come and read the discussions, read the articles that are being posted and shared. There is just a wealth of information there. Come join us, even if you just want to watch in the background for the time being. If you have any questions, you can always private message me or send me an email, rhoda@drrhoda.com. Check out my website, and I look forward to seeing you all on Monday for the next video. Thanks so much and have a fabulous weekend. Bye.